aerial barricade where it's like slice of life, but with incels if they were nice. Hello everyone, it's Luli, and today I'll be telling you my first impressions about the Otome game Tengoku Struggle. Now this game is actually an unlocalized Otome game and therefore only available in Japanese. However, I thought that perhaps it may be fun if I tell you how I feel about the game so far after playing the common group. But before I start, if you like visual novels, if you like Otome games, and if you just like fangirling over 2D guys, then you come to the right place because I upload once, sometimes twice a week and stream regularly. So if that's something you're interested in, then please do hit that subscribe and bell button, and I promise you will not regret it. Also, note that although I would not consider any of what I include in this video as spoilers, I'm aware that what you consider spoilers and what I consider spoilers may not quite align. So if you're even a little bit sensitive and you don't even want to know what's, on the website, then I would swiftly move on. But anyway, let me start. So first up, let me tell you kind of like the plot synopsis type of thing, basically what you'd see in the back of the book if you picked one up at the store. So it's based in hell. It's quite a unique concept actually, because it's based in this world where hell and the human world is actually connected and people can go from hell into the human world, but they are confined within the Asakusa of Tokyo, and but it is kind of cool to see those from hell, like essentially criminals, interact with humans, and it's fun watching that. But basically the main character is Emma Ring. She is the adopted daughter of essentially hell's overlord. He's a really eccentric character, is the simple way of putting it, because one day he finds her and on a whim he just goes, right, you know what, I'm just gonna adopt her. And so she basically owes her life to him, because in hell, if you don't have any memories, which she did not, you can sometimes disappear. Well, that's what typically happens. But anyway, so the story starts with Ring graduating from kind of like this hell school type of thing. Basically, even if you end up in hell as a criminal, if you work hard, you can enter this school that allows you to sort of train to become one of these essentially like police guards of hell, to prevent like criminals from doing silly things. And also because when people go into hell, they have to endure certain punishments over and over again as like repenting, I suppose, for the sins that they committed during their lifetime. And she of course graduates, top of the year, which I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little bit jealous about, but that's a whole different story. And that's that. So you're like, oh, this is great, but of course it's an Otome game, things have to go wrong at the beginning. And what happens is basically a bunch of criminals from hell end up escaping into the human world through, basically, if someone in heaven drops a bit of, I don't know why, to be honest, maybe yet, but if they drop this special spider's web down into hell and one of the criminals grabs it, they automatically end up in heaven. Bear in mind that it is near impossible to get into heaven, so obviously it's like a crazy deal to come across that and manage to escape. And then as a result of that, her father calls Ring and is like, right, Ring, I've got you a task, you must complete this. It's kind of like your first mission almost. And he orders her alongside these bunch of, trusted criminals, but criminals nonetheless, to go into the human world and try and catch these escapees and bring them back to hell. And she's like, what with like these bunch of criminals? Note that she is a bit of a man-hater. I think after seeing loads of guys be like a bit pervy and a bit like sexual in hell, I think it kind of put her off of men in general, and she's a bit like, she's not fond of men. But anyway, she's like, with these guys? And he's like, yes, with these guys. And they end up having to go into the human world and live together to go and explore and find these escapees, find out why they escaped and what they want, and then bring them back into hell. And that's kind of like where the introduction kind of like the synopsis of this game on the website ends. Now, I'm not gonna lie, by the end of this point, which is about 20-30 minutes worth of gameplay, I felt a bit uncomfortable, and I'll tell you in a moment. Basically, so when they are, introducing the love interests, which are these trusted criminals, they're behaving really nicely. They're really, yes sir, we will bring back the escapees and all of this, and you're a bit skeptical, like, you're being, like you're criminals, and you're being really well behaved, and you can't help but feel a little bit skeptical, right? And they go to the human world, and then the teacher basically shows the criminals and in where they'll be living, like their rooms and like all the facilities, all of that. And then, they're all behaving nicely. Teacher leaves. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna lie, this made me really uncomfortable, because the moment the teacher leaves, they just 180-degree personality change, and they go full on like sexist misogyny mode, and I'm just sort of like, don't get me wrong, I expected that they would like switch behavior and change personalities, but like I didn't think it would be to this extent, because they are really demeaning to the main character. Like, they are saying, oh, why would we listen to a woman? They kind of almost bully her, and Rin is like on the brink of tears. Don't get me wrong, she doesn't cry in front of them, but she runs to her room and bursts into tears. And I must say, like, at this point in the game, I was like, this is actually really horrible. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm used to the trash characters. In fact, I love the trash characters. I think they're the most interesting in Otome games. But in this case, I was like, what just happened? And yeah, I was not pleased. I was not pleased. But I also understand that sometimes, you need to push through these things to understand, like, the game fully, rather, because, okay, so now you're probably like, oh, I don't know if I want this game because of how I explained that bit. But let me continue. So after going through this and feeling really uncomfortable, I kept on playing, because, why wouldn't I? I spent like so much, like, this costs money. I'm not gonna like just ditch it. I keep on playing. It's the next day, and they're actually really, really nice. I think what the game was trying to do in that moment in time is to kind of show how disobedient these criminals are, and to show like their kind of bad side, if you know what I mean. Because after that point onwards, like, I've played the common route and one route now, I have not come across that horrific behavior yet. They're all just nice. Think variable barricade with okay, it's like going up. Think variable barricade where it's like slice of life, but with incels, if they were nice. So yeah, it was weird, because at that point in time, I honestly thought, what the hell is this game? This is horrific. But then after about 5-10 minutes of continuing on, all of a sudden that it's not bad at all. It's actually like pretty chill, and it's fun watching the love interests interact. And yeah, I ended up playing, finished playing the common route, and it was fun. It was fun. So overall, kind of like the vibe was that, as I said, variable barricade, like, it's very like slice of life. I could tell that it was going to go into a more deep kind of serious sort of way, because of how, each of these criminals have like, well, they're dead technically, so they died in certain ways. They had lives that, were quite emotional, all of that sort of thing. So I could tell it was going to take a more of a deeper kind of angsty, maybe not angsty, but I could tell it's going to go a bit more serious rather than just a comedic slice of life. But based on common route alone, it was quite like seeing the love interest interact and laughing at it, and a few cute moments here and there, and like it introduces kind of the escapees, and like shows the life in the human world within this confined area, because of the interaction between the human world and hell, and it kind of introduces the world really well. But I must say, I didn't feel like this is really like my kind of game. because it also felt very like Shonen Jump. Like, don't get me wrong, the quality is really good. Like, the sprites have these little animations, obviously the eye blinking, mouth moving stuff, even the main character, which is interesting because normally you don't get that. But the sprites have like hearts appear if they find something, you know, they like in an animation kind of way. There were bits where it almost felt like I was watching an anime. Like, the quality is really good, but because it was so Shonen Jump, I'm not sure like how it wasn't like entirely my thing, I guess. It kind of reminded me of Buster Fellows a little bit, but overall I could see that it was good. There were bits that I really liked, so I think in terms of the common route I would rate it like a 3 out of 5. But after one route I would say I'd give it maybe like a 3.5 or 4 out of 5 so far, because I played the character that I was least interested in, and yet there were so many cute moments. There were just so many like adorable, sweet shoujo manga-esque situations where like I was getting butterflies. I was like, oh, this is so cute, and all of that. And so it was overall a really enjoyable experience, and I did binge that one route. Like, you know, it was 3 a.m. and I was like, okay, I need to go to sleep now, that sort of thing. So yeah, it was good, but no, it definitely, at least the common route, it felt very Shonen Jump, Buster Fellows, Variable Barricade. As I said, Variable Barricade with incels if they were nice. Sort of the best way to put it. Now, in terms of characters, I think it's really weird because from just looking at the pictures alone, I had like these kind of, I was expecting certain ones to be like kudere, but they turned out to be completely different, and I thought one would be youngish, but they weren't. Like, honestly, what I had expected from just looking at the character alone was completely different from when you actually see the characters in the common route. But based on that, I'd say the order in which I'm looking for, you know, from the ones I'm looking forward to least to the ones I'm looking forward to most, I would probably go Kikunosuke is my least interested one. You know what, I'm getting confused now. I'll go for the ones I'm most excited about to the ones I'm least. So definitely top tier for me is Yona. I love the red hair, I love the freckles, he's the biggest, he's the tallest. I mean, how am I gonna say no to that? So he was up there, and he is a very like, he's a sun boy slash puppy dog. It's a really weird combination, but I absolutely adore it. So I'm looking forward to his route. Then I would probably put Sharaku. This is interesting because Sharaku I thought was going to be like a younger boy. I thought he was like short and stuff, but I was so wrong. He's probably the flirty one that's used to women and knows how to like speak to women, that sort of thing. So he's a very flirtatious one. And yeah, I think he'll be fun. I've heard he's the most steamy route, and apparently the writer suggested playing him third, so I'll probably will save him to third. Third and most interested, I would say, is Jack. Unfortunately, he is locked, so you have to play the first 3 and then play him, and then play Goemon, I think, or Goemon and then, I can't remember, it was something like that. But Jack, so I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like the hat, but when he takes his hat off, he looks really cute. But I don't know, I'm like, you don't really learn that much about him, like, so he's a bit wavery. Then it's probably Kiku and Goemon on the same level. Kiku looks a bit too young. Oh, okay, I say that. This Otome game, I'm happy in that all the characters don't look too young, but out of all of them, he gave like young vibes in the common route as well. So he's kind of like, I'm not really into that, so he's kind of low on the list. But I must admit, the whole wolf thing with the ears popping out is adorable, so he gets bonus points for that. And then you've got Goemon. I think he will be interesting. I feel like, you know, you will learn more about Lin and her past, given that he is locked. So I'm looking forward to playing his route in that sense, but he is quite like basic and kind of what you'd expect from a poster boy. He's really cool though. And right at the beginning of the game, you see something happen, which makes you more interested in him. So yeah, I am intrigued as to what his route is going to be like, although in terms of like character design and his personality, he does suffer a little bit from poster boy syndrome. But yeah, so that's kind of like my expectations and order in which I'm looking forward to the characters. And they also in the comic book introduced the escapees, and just enough detail that you're a little bit intrigued, but not enough that you know too much. And they like do a good job to kind of almost sort of get your attention and make you want to binge it, which I ended up binging one of the routes. And so it's nice to see that they've put so much effort into the characters that aren't even the love interest. Like all the side characters are distinct, they all have different designs, it's really nice to look at. And the main character, my goodness, she has so many clothes designs. I think they put a lot of work into this. Yeah, no, definitely. But anyway, that's kind of like the plot, the overall thoughts, and then now my character expectations. Yeah, I think that's it really. I think the thing I'm looking forward to most about this game is to learn about Lin's past, because I love it when a main character doesn't have any memories, because it just makes you want to know more. Like you want to know what happened. It's you can't help that curiosity gets the best of you. So I'm definitely looking forward to continuing playing this. I guess I'll ask a question to end this video. Out of all the love interests in this game, which one are you most interested in and why? As you know, I like Yona the most so far. But anyway, as is always the case, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and hopefully I'll see you in another one of my videos or streams. Bye!